Would you believe there are 5 hidden statistics that most news outlets aren't reporting, which quietly prove we're already living through a recession right now? If you're part of the middle class and your monthly expenses feel like they're quietly draining your savings, you're not just imagining it. One example, the average homeowner is paying about $500 more every month, often without even realizing exactly why. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. Because these signals, backed by hard numbers from real sources, predict what happens to your job security, ability to save, and even the stability of your home. Which of these critical warning signs are impacting your family's finances? And could the final one upend your safety net entirely? Today on Ray Invests, I'll break down the 5 signs every middle-class earner must spot now to protect their future, even if official reports say everything's fine. All right, let's jump right in. Sign number 1, the backbone of American spending you might never think about, is cardboard box production. Boxes don't just show up on our porches out of nowhere. For every e-commerce delivery and retail purchase, there's a cardboard box behind the scenes. Here's the hard truth. When cardboard box production slows down, it almost always means companies expect fewer sales ahead. Right now in 2025, box makers have actually shut down viral factories and are running others at reduced capacity because demand is dropping. According to the Fiber Box Association, lower cardboard output is a classic recession signal, since it predicts shrinking consumer demand before it officially shows up in the gross domestic product numbers. If big retailers aren't ordering as many boxes, they're bracing for less business from people like you, and who's spending less. Inflation has eaten into purchasing power for almost everyone, which means even after adjusting for official spending numbers, the average consumer is buying less of what really matters and more cautiously. Now, you might have heard that overall consumer spending as of August 2025 is technically up. But here's a crucial nuance. According to Federal Reserve data, the richest top 10% of Americans, the ultra-high earners, are now powering a staggering 50% of a total United States consumer spending. That's right, just 10% of people are keeping half the economic engine running. Say that aloud. If that small group hits pause, the impact hits everyone. Most of America isn't keeping up, which leads us to a micro-engagement. Have you felt your own family's spending habits shift over the past year? Maybe you're making fewer big purchases or holding off on upgrades. If so, drop a comment below and share your story with the Ray Invests community. Progress marker. On to sign 2. Struggle meals like Hamburger Helper are making a comeback, and the data proves it. According to Eagle Foods, sales of Hamburger Helper surged significantly this year as families search for more affordable filling options at the grocery store. If you're unfamiliar, it's a boxed mix of pasta, sauce, and seasonings you combine with ground beef, designed to stretch 1 pound of meat into multiple hearty dinners. It's not just Hamburger Helper. Studies also show frozen pizza sales are up, with more people eating meals at home instead of ordering takeout. Walmart and Aldi have seen rising numbers of higher-income shoppers trading down, skipping premium stores in favor of bargains. The message: everyone, regardless of income, is hunting for savings where possible. Think about what it means when folks with white-collar salaries are filling their carts at discount chains. It's not a time for extravagance. It's a time for maximizing every dollar. And if you're wondering if these trends affect your budget, try this pattern break. Next time you grocery shop, compare your bill to one from last year and leave a comment with the difference. It's often more than you realize. Now stay with me, because the next indicator is even more industrial, and it sends big ripples through the job market. Sign 3. Large truck sales, specifically semi-trucks, are dropping sharply, a move that almost always forecasts a slowdown in business activity. According to ACT research, a steep decline in new freight truck orders historically precedes a recession. In 2025, import tariffs on trucks also jumped to 25%, making imported rigs pricier and further crimping demand. But while government bulletins may not call this a recession, the actual numbers, less freight hauled, fewer trucks sold, reveal that manufacturers and logistics companies are bracing for leaner months. And that trickles down. Fewer trucks bought means lower factory shifts, fewer jobs, and slower flows of goods to stores. So here's a curiosity loop. If trucking signals warning ahead of the official headlines, what other quiet numbers are painting a truer economic picture? I'm about to share a story of how one family had to adapt when their breadwinner's hours were cut as shipments slowed. So hold on for that, it's coming up. Moving on. Sign 4 is something almost everyone can relate to. Thrifting is surging, not just among low-income earners, but across the board. The app ThreadUp, a platform for buying and selling secondhand clothing, reported a 16% boost in sales just in the second quarter of 2025. That's tens of thousands of people, many in higher income brackets, turning to resale for designer goods or everyday necessities. Why? Secondhand helps people save without giving up quality. Equally important, for the sellers, it's a critical way to earn extra cash in harder times. What's happening here is a fundamental behavioral shift, not just stretching dollars, but changing how people value new versus necessary. Here's a mini story as promised. One Ray Invests viewer, Megan, used to buy new jeans and jackets every season. But with rising bills and her partner's hours cut at work, she started selling unused clothes online, netting an extra $200 a month, enough to cover electricity and groceries for her 2 kids. That's financial resilience, live and unscripted. How about you? If you've thrifted more or sold something extra recently, comment your experience. We're building a playbook for staying ahead together. Progress marker. Now we hit a turning point. Sign 5 is both the most concerning and most actionable. Job hopping has ground to a halt. The quit rate, meaning workers voluntarily leaving jobs to seek better pay benefits or advancement, is now at its lowest since 2020. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics data, when employees are confident in the economy, they switch roles freely, getting raises and boosting their household income. When uncertainty sets in, people cling to their current jobs, worried that new opportunities might not materialize. That's exactly what's happening now. Folks report feeling stuck, knowing friends and family who've lost jobs have struggled to find another. This is more than a stat. It's a reflection of lost confidence and evaporating upward mobility. Here's a curiosity loop. If people stop switching jobs out of fear, what happens to wages, retirement savings, and overall financial progress in the next year? Keep listening, because the last signal ties all these together and has huge implications for homeowners. But before we go there, if these breakdowns are helping you track what's happening beneath the surface, hit subscribe right now to Ray Invests. Every month, I'll break down new trends and warning signs, just like these, so you're always one step ahead, not caught off guard. Now let's get to the final signal, arguably the red alert for household finances in 2025. Home equity loan originations surged 12% in the first quarter of this year. According to Experian and Mortgage Bankers Association data, roughly 50% of those new home equity loans are so-called cash-out refinances. That means people are tapping into their property's value to generate cash, often not for renovations, but just to pay down debts, cover rising bills, or consolidate expenses as budgets get squeezed. Here's what's really alarming. The average monthly payment for these cash-out refinances is up by about $500. Let's run that math together. If you're pulling out $50,000 of home equity at a 7% rate over 15 years, your extra payment is close to $450 to $500 a month. Money that used to be your safety net, now going straight to the bank. Why would so many raise their home equity this way? For some, there's no option. The alternative is missed payments on higher interest debt or falling behind on bills. But if you're not careful, this cycle can dig the hole deeper. Remember, every extra $500 you spend each month eats away at your financial foundation. If this sounds familiar, I want you to comment below and let us know if you want a copy of our Financial Storm Preparedness Checklist. Because identifying and acting on These warning signs is what separates people who weather downturns from those who get blindsided. Before we close curiosity loop, if this many people are already dipping into home equity or switching to discount stores just to make ends meet, what does that mean if things get worse? How can you protect your household now instead of hoping for the best? I'll walk through action steps and solutions in just a minute. Progress marker. Let's recap these 5 signs. Sign 1. Cardboard box production is down, a classic warning that retailers expect slower sales. Sign 2. More families turning to low-cost, high-calorie and struggle meals and trading down. At grocery stores, even higher earners. Sign 3. Large truck sales are slumping, telegraphing a likely drop in industrial and supplier activity. Sign 4. Thrifting and side hustles are up, families selling used items and shifting, spending to second-hand options. Sign 5. Job hopping has stalled as workers worry about landing new roles. Freezing wage growth. Bonus the financial danger zone. Rising home equity loans, with average monthly payments up $500, putting safety nets at risk for thousands. Let me ask, which of these signs have you seen in your own life? Comment below. Your experience helps others realize they're not alone. Now, next steps. Actionable recommendations are coming up. Let's wrap this up with clear action steps and next moves. First, keep your eyes open for these signals, not just in the headlines, but in your daily life. If you notice more empty shelves, steeper grocery bills, or friends talking about hanging on to jobs rather than hunting for new ones, those are the personal finance red flags official reports often miss. Immediate action. Review and trim your 3 largest monthly expenses, typically housing, food, and transportation. Use budgeting apps like YNAB, You Need a Budget, or Mint to spot spending leaks. This week, list any non-essential recurring charges, cancel or downgrade them. Over the next 30 to 90 days, prepare a 6-month emergency fund, even if you start small. With automated transfers to a high-yield savings account, look at Ally or Marcus as examples. If you own a home, resist tapping home equity unless it's truly an emergency. And if you're already in a cash-out refi, make a repayment plan to get back under control. Track your progress by checking your net worth or savings growth each quarter. Remember, spotting these signs early gives you more options, not fewer. In most cases, people who prepare before a downturn can soften the blow, protect their assets, and even invest cautiously during market lows to set up a better long-term future. Most viewers notice meaningful improvement in their day-to-day stress and security within a few weeks of consistently tracking expenses, building savings. Though everyone's situation is unique and results will vary. Now, if you found this breakdown helpful, subscribe to Ray Invests and turn on alerts. Next video, I'll be sharing a downloadable checklist. Comment guide if you want the free economic downturn preparedness checklist, and tell me which sign you've seen most in your city or household. If you see these signals where you live, or if you have questions about protecting your savings, comment below. Share your story. We're in this together as a community, not just stats on a screen. This has been Ray Invests. Thanks for watching. Remember, all content here is educational and individualized financial advice. Your situation may be different, and you should consult a licensed professional for your unique needs.